Andor is here, and all I have to say is, don't worry, I'm going to go through the entire 3 episodes and then give you my thoughts so you know what's going on. Well, here we have Cassian Andor, the start of episode 1. Episode 1 is a very slow burn. Everything can be summed up in literally 5 minutes on what's going on. Andor enters a brothel where he wants to speak to someone because, here's the plot, he's looking for his sister. And you have to remember, this is about 5 years before Rogue One. And then you see these two shifty looking guys in the back. They're not happy because they've been waiting a long time for a woman, and she goes to talk to Cassian first. So they're not happy about that. The two gentlemen then follow Cassian Andor down a dark alley, and they point a gun at him and they say, hey, we want some credits or some money. And he goes, all right, I got credits in my pocket. And they're like, that'll do. And then you find out that those two men are actually like part of the police division of that sector. That's under their jurisdiction. One of the police puts his hands in his pocket, and Cassian does his thing. He turns around and bashes his head in, and he falls to the ground, and he realizes that he's killed this one person. So then the other guy was like begging for his life. He's on the ground with his hands up like, please, we'll go into the police station together. We'll make up a story. You'll get off scot-free. Don't worry about it. Hey, please don't kill me. But Cassian decides to shoot him in the face anyway. And there you have it. We then get introduced to the cute Star Wars droid, and everyone calls him B. He shows up on the scene and a dog pees on him. It's like I say, he pulls out a little zapper and zaps the little rascal away. There's B, everyone. Then we go to the next scene where this young man right here, who's a budding new officer who wants to do everything by the book, who wants to keep things clean and wants order in the galaxy, says, hey, 2 of our men were killed last night. And the old guard here was like, look, I got to go speak to the Empire, so let's just forget about it. They probably were out drinking where they weren't supposed to be, and they got into a fight. So, okay, we'll say something nice about them for the papers, and we'll just move on. Well, that doesn't sit well with this young guy. He's kind of like, I can't do that, sir. Well, because he's an officer, he decides to do more snooping around, and he says, hey, man, I got to find the videotape. I got to see what's going on, why our 2 officers were killed. And this guy goes, well, I found something. And he says, and this something just strolls through the checkpoint. So now he's like, I got to know what's going on. We're going to find this person and we're going to bring him to justice. I don't care what my senior person said. He's off giving speeches to the Empire. So then he rallies his troops. He's like, hey, look, we're going to send a memo out, a code to a bunch of people in our sector because I want to talk to some people. That's it. I just want to talk. And they're like, well, we don't want to send it to this one planet because they kind of handle their own justice themselves. And he goes, isn't that under our jurisdiction? They're like, technically. He's like, well, send it out. I don't care. Send it out to this planet. I need to find the guy that killed our men, all right? So he's like yelling at everybody, telling them what to do. And throughout the episode, you just have these weird flashback scenes of Cassian Andor and his sister. It looks like something from Lord of the Flies where they lived on this planet, but apparently they were abandoned on this planet, and they're just trying to survive. You can see hints of Imperial clothing and stuff like that, but it seems like they've been there for some time. And that's the end of episode 1. Really, that's it. That's the end. Nothing else really happened. It's a bunch of people walking around. Are you still with me? Because now we are at episode 2. That's right, episode 2. It starts off with more flashback scenes, and this picture here will show you that they were probably mining. They were probably doing some kind of mining, and everybody left and left a group of young people in charge. It's pretty much all we got so far. Then we go back to this planet where Cassian Andor lives. It's like a salvaging planet. I don't know, they salvage. They like cut up ships. They look for parts to sell. Kind of like what Rey was doing on Jakku. Something like that. And this guy wakes up every morning and he pounds this big piece of metal to wake everybody up. This scene took so long. I don't understand. And they show it again. They show it again. So they're just trying to pass the time. So, hey, wake up, everybody. It's time to go to work. So now that everybody's up and ready for work, the memo goes out. As you can see, citizens with any information, please contact the Preox Morlana Security Headquarters. If I said that correctly. And this guy's having a conscience. He's like, I think I know who it is. I don't want no trouble here. I've got a beautiful girlfriend, which comes into play a little bit later, and I'm not having it. So he goes and tattletales on Cassian Andor. He's like, I think the guy you're looking for is here. This is his name. This is what it looks like. And they got all the information. And so now the police are after Cassian Andor. Remember this guy. Something happens to him. So now Cassian is speaking to this girl. Now this girl is the girlfriend of the guy that we just saw tattletaling on Cassian Andor. So maybe that's another reason why I called the police saying, come get this guy. He's always talking to my girl. There's always some funny business going on. And then we get to this weird scene where he goes, hey, I'll sell you the piece because I just got to get out of here. I need some money. I got to get out of here. The heat is on. I saw the memo. I got to get out of here. And she's like, nope, the buyer that you wanted is on his way and I can't stop it now. So there's a buyer coming to buy a piece, apparently, that Cassian Andor stole from an Imperial ship. That's all we know. So now another flashback where Cassian Andor is just a little young man and a ship has crashed on their planet and the young people go to investigate. And while they're investigating, they see bodies on the ground. And this, I guess, is their leader. She wants to see what's going on. And one of the bodies stands up, as you can see here, decides to shoot her and kill her. And then all the young people using blow darts kill this person right here. And that's the flashback scene. You see Cassian Andor getting upset. So now the police force is ready to go find Cassian Andor, and things keep jumping back from flashbacks to present day. So they're all gearing up and they're saying, hey, residents might not like us if we're here because normally the police force isn't there. This planet takes care of their own justice, and it just seems like it's a planet that just cuts up ships and finds parts. And that's what they do for a living. So then we see this mysterious fellow. He's the buyer that wants to buy Cassian Andor's box. That's what they call it. They call it a box. If you know what it is, you can put it in the comment section below. But that's it. That's the end of episode 2. That's really it. Again, there's lots of scenes with people just walking around and looking at stuff. So now we start episode 3 with another flashback. Young Cassian walked onto the ship that crashed, and he's just looking around, exploring, wanting to see what's going on. And then he has this rage where he sees a computer and he just starts beating it up. I guess that's just to tell us that the Empire or whoever had his family doing horrible manual labor, and he's just mad at it and he doesn't know what happened to his family. And then these scavengers show up on the ship and they see young Cassian beating things up, and this woman here has compassion for him. Then she grabs little Cassian Andor and stabs him with a needle or something that makes him fall asleep, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him. We can't leave him here. Something's gonna happen to him. We're gonna take him with him. While they're doing that, the other people there like steal all the batteries from this ship that has crashed, and I assume they go back to the planet where Cassian Andor grows up, and now this is his adoptive mom. This is probably why he's looking for his sister, because he got separated. This woman took him while he was unconscious, and then we fast forward to present day where the adopted mom is being interrogated by the police. And they're roughing her up a little bit, you know, they're roughing her up. Now we get to the scene where the strange man wants to buy this box from Cassian, and they're talking about a price. But this guy was like, look, I'm not really here to buy this box. I want you. I want to talk to you about something bigger. I want to talk to you about really sticking it to the man. I want you to join my team, my special elite force, where we can really do something against the Empire. And Cassian's like, and I don't even know who you are. Like, I don't know who you are. Just give me the money. Cassian gets upset and pulls out a gun and points it to the man's face and like, who are you? Like, what are you doing here? I don't know what you want. I don't know anything. So that's all he knows what to do is point a gun at somebody. He's like, just give me the money. But then the guards show up. And when the guards show up, this guy was like, well, I planted explosives all around the building, so we have some time to get out of here because we got to go, and you need to come with me. Don't worry about the box. Now, the guards are out running around the town, and this was the girl here that got the buyer for Cassian, and for some strange reason, out of everybody running, they decided to stop her. They were like, please stop, and they begin to rough her up a bit. Now, the guards are making their way inside this room, and Cassian's still like, I want to get my box because I need the money. And the other guy's like, forget the box, just come with me. He's like, no, I gotta have the box. So a gunfight ensues, but I don't think Cassian got the box. They end up leaving and escaping and killing some of the guards. He really wanted that box. For some strange reason, they put this girl in handcuffs and handcuff her to a wall, and they rough her up even more. And this really doesn't make sense. Out of everybody running around, they decided just to pick on her. bully her up a bit, make her bleed, and then something really odd happens. The guy that called the police to rat on Cassian Andor, well, remember, that's his girlfriend. He comes running down the stairs at full speed and is like, what are you doing to her? Stop it, please. Look, she's bleeding. The guards tell him to stop running, and of course, he doesn't listen because... Of course not. You know, they've all got their guns drawn and he still doesn't listen. He's just running at full speed. Now, why would you do this? I have no idea, but he's still running. And of course, he gets shot and killed because he doesn't listen. And what's really weird is the guy that shot and killed him, the leading officer was like, give me your gun and go back to your ship while the rest of us try to clean up this mess and get out of here. It's just a very odd scene. I don't quite understand it, but I guess they're trying to build some tension. And the girlfriend is just sitting there looking at her dead boyfriend like, Now, that young man of a guard that we showed early on decided he had a great idea. He's going to go back to the mom's house and wait for Cassian there. And for some reason, we don't even know how this happens. Cassian shows up and puts a gun behind his head, says, drop your weapons, give me some information, and get out of here. Then we get to a scene that is quite predictable. You see a little car going down the road at high speeds. You can't look into the windows, and all the guards are shooting. We obviously know that this was a distraction. Not a real big woo gotcha moment. The guards are shooting at it and they stand in front of it and they just keep shooting as it gets closer and closer till it eventually blows up. Then all the guards start laughing like, ha ha, we got him, we got him, we got him. And then Cassian Andor busts out of another building with the guy on his back in a speeder, and they take off to his ship. So I guess after these 3 episodes, this one scene sets up the entire story. As they're flying back on a speeder to that guy's ship, they slow motion on everyone's face that I guess are going to be the stars of the show. The young girl whose boyfriend was killed. The young man who's in charge of the security. Cassian Andor, Cassian Andor's mom. And they show them in just such a unique way where it's kind of like, you know, a slow motion and they zoom in on their face. So it's kind of like, remember these people, everyone. These are the characters that are moving forward. This was the scene for Cassian Andor as it just, you know, moved in on his face. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. That's the end of the first 3. So what did I think of Andor episodes 1 through 3? I thought it was very slow and I thought it was very boring at times. They literally could compact these 3 episodes into one 30-minute episode and we would all be up to speed on where they were going with this story. I will say this, I did like the music. And I like the fact that they didn't use cameos in these first 3 episodes. Will we see cameos down the line? Possibly Darth Vader, Jen Erso. I mean, who knows? Who knows who they might throw in? We got 2 seasons. But they just took too much time to set this up. We already know where this is going. And it's just kind of like, well, let's just make it nice and slow. There were so many shots of people just kind of walking around, not really doing anything. And maybe they were just trying to set the mood. I'm not sure. But for me, it could have moved a little bit faster. I guess we'll see in the coming episodes on where this is going. This is definitely different than the normal cheesy versions of Star Wars stuff that we've been getting, that's for sure. Is it better than Kenobi? Yeah, I mean, the bar is pretty low. Blvd, yeah, it's pretty low. And it's even a different feel from The Mandalorian. So if you liked Rogue One, you probably will like this series. Also, if you like this shirt and hat, they'll be available October 7th on 9 Line Apparel. That's all I got. Let me know what you thought. Leave it in the comments section below. And thank you, Disparu, for hooking me up so I could see the series for this review. And that's it. I will catch you next time.